Christians and ancestors, right? Christians and Madrid. So, I mean, I have heard people, saying that Christians will be saying, don't do ancestral things. Meanwhile, when they're praying, they talking about God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, right? So, my opinion on that is that, look, you need to understand what it is that you're doing. If you choose, that is what you're going to do. You're going to acknowledge. I want to refrain from saying you're going to worship, because what I've been hearing, what I've been hearing in the circles, is that now there's people are saying, no, 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 we are not even worshiping the ancestors. So I want to refrain from saying that. So I'm just gonna say, it's your choice if you want to, let me say, embrace that aspect of African spirituality. But you do need to understand, because in the case of, like, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, right? What those people were doing was just a mere acknowledgement, right? And hence the mentioning of these three people. Also, why specifically these three? Because I mean, they could have mentioned anybody from the Bible. There were so many people that they could have mentioned. God of Joseph, God of Moses, God of Noah, right? Why specifically Abraham, Isaac, and Israel? It's got to do with, or rather, it's in reference to the covenant, right, that Abraham had with God. So they're referencing. So it's like, in court when you build up your case. I learned it in the in the recent Amber and Johnny trial. All right. So it's called foundation, right? When you're going to make a statement, or state your case, you build your case, right, with a foundation. So you don't just utter something from the lengana foundation that's got no, like, uisuselapi the thing, right? So when these people were praying, to God, when they were praying to God, saying, in, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, referencing these people, they were really acknowledging the covenant. It wasn't so much about these people, Abraham, Isaac, and Israel. It was really to build a foundation for whatever case they wanted to come with to God. So they were mentioning these people as a way to build their case, to say that you are a God of a covenant. All right. So the moment they mention these people, God acknowledges as well that they are referencing it. It sort of clicks to him, that this is with regards to the covenant, or rather then these people have laid their foundation, they've laid their case. So it's almost like they can proceed, having established that you are a God of covenant. So when we are coming to you about this case, or whatever the case, when we are making the statement, it is based upon, that you are the God of a covenant, right? So that's where the God of Abraham is just, really, it was merely acknowledging, right? It was about the covenant. It was about bringing attention to the fact that you are a covenant keeping God, right? And not so much about performing rituals to these people, because you must understand they did not perform any rituals to Abraham. They were not even praying to Abraham, Isaac, or Israel. They were praying to the God, all right? They were still engaging, they were still interacting with the living God. Do you get my point? Do you understand? So you need to also then, in your, embracing African spirituality, as what I'll choose to call it, or in your acknowledging, okokomkulu, as Amazulu say, you need to understand what it is that you are doing. You know, as I'm saying, that these people referenced Abraham, Isaac, and Israel in relation to a covenant. So when you are then going to be engaging in that, you need to just have an understanding of what it is that you are doing. If who will you be mentioning? So because you can also, that's the argument, right? Christians, you'll hear them praying, to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel. Why not to the God of Okokomkulu, Babo, right? So if you understand, if there was a covenant, no Okokomkulu Bako, that you are aware of, and that God also, when you put that before him, he also acknowledges, he also recognizes that. And therefore, there's an expectation that, he has to respond, because you know what, there was a covenant in place. And you are building your case, like I said, by first mentioning that to him, that you are a God of covenant. You had a covenant with Kokumkulu Wami, whoever his name was, right? So when you have that understanding, then of course you can also engage, absolutely, right? And then also something that I want to kind of put out there, which I myself personally have been wondering, right, is with regards to the ancestors. What happens in the event that you or I want to embrace them, but maybe unbeknownst to me, Okokomkulu Bami were involved in the works of evil, witchcraft, right? And here I am, I need to embrace my Africanness and everything that has to do with that. So culture, etc., etc. And yes, so obviously that includes, or that involves also the ancestral, right, Madloti and stuff. So in the event that Okokumkulu Bami, right, my forefathers, great Madloti Ami, were involved in the works of evil or the works of darkness in the form of witchcraft, and I want to perform rituals to them. I want to guti bangikhanyisele, because that's what we do, right? We consult ukuthi abasikhanyisele indlela, right? Angithi bona sebayahambile, so sibacela ukuthi basikhanyisele nathi. So in the event ukuthi they were involved in the works of darkness in their time, njengoba sebamadloti manje, bamadloti asekhaya, and I want to embrace them. I want to embrace the African spirituality in its completeness, if I can say. Then what then, if bona beba vala tindlela talabanye bamvu, noma indlela talabanye bamphana, and then mine ezingishilo ukuthi unbeknownst to me, mhlambe angadi, like I don't know what my forefathers, I'm not even aware, ukuthi they did those things. Let's say I'm not aware, but here I am, right? Ngifuna bangikhanyise. So bona bebavala indlela talabanye bamvu. Here I am today. I am consulting them. Ngicela ukuthi bangikhanyisele. Now logically, think about it. How are they going to do that? Meanwhile, kwabona beba sebendele bomnyameni noma bebenda imisebenzi yasebomnyameni, sengithi sengiyafika mina enyalo, ngithi ngicela ukuthi bangikhanyisele indlela. So le ndlela yekhanya banabo indlela bebangayadi lebangayiphili. So sebatomkhanyisela njani? You understand? So hence ngithi mine, if you are going to embark on that journey, that African spirituality journey, you do need to understand ukuthi wendani futhi uwendelani, yini lo yendako futhi uyendelani. You understand? So whatever it is lo decide akuyenda, noma ngabe ukholelwa kuJesu emadlodi imvo longayendi, uyathandaza to the God of Abraham, Isaac and Israel, nalapho kufanele understand ukuthi leni you know, the God of Abraham, Isaac and Israel, nangabe you know uto consulta emadlodi, nalapho udzinga understanda ukuthi wendani, because like the scenario I put before you, ukuthi if ever labo khokho bakho beba bamvu labasebenta ebumnyameni, wena so to bacela ukuthi bakhanyisele indlela, le ndlela batakhanyisela njani kwanabo bengakakhanyiswa kwanabo le yabo indlela. You understand? So I think we need to understand things that we are doing. You know, we need to understand the things that we are doing, so that we are not just doing things religiously, whether you are practicing African spirituality or not. You need understanding of, you know, what it is that you are doing, you know, and not just do something religiously, you know, or because it's a trend or whatever the case. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. Of course, this channel is just me voicing out my opinions on matters. Yeah, on just social matters. And more so this time around. I mean, I haven't posted in a while. Yeah, a lot, for a lot of reasons, really. I mean, not, yeah, for a lot of reasons. A lot has happened in the time that I haven't been posting. You know, a lot has happened. One of which I've become a Mrs. Yeah, and I think, you know, yeah, I'm actually going to rename the channel to Ministry Corner. Yeah, I know, may not, you know, be something that that's synonymous to a lot of people with me, but yeah, it's gonna be renamed to the Ministry Corner. So yeah, guys, let me know what you in the comment section, you know, what your thoughts, right? I just voiced out my opinion. So yeah, what are your thoughts on this topic? And thank you for watching and listening, and see you soon on the next video. Adios, guys.